What up, everybody? This is Aztec 101 in the ring. And, I know I haven't done videos in a while. So I decided to say, fuck it, it's Saturday. I got nothing to do for the next couple hours. So um, I want to refer back to an interview that I saw. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. And it's an interview of, it's Sway interviewing Mayweather's manager, Leonard Ellerbe. All right. And in this interview, you end up having a lot of things happening at once. So I just want to talk about it real quick. It's probably like a 15-minute interview. There's really not much talking. The only really well, let me get into it. So you do get some pretty cool stuff. They actually get to ask Mayweather's manager about what happened with Mayweather and the supposable lawsuit that TMZ was talking about. And obviously, Mayweather's manager was like, you know what, this is complete bullshit. There was never anything stolen. Um, and that's it. Just nips it at the bud right there. Because basically just leaves it to the people to think about it when he says, just think about who the source was. Just think about who the source was. Where did this story come from? And so that gets handled right there. I think that was pretty cool. He was answered all the questions, simple yes no, and so that was cool. And then they go on to talk about some other bullshit. There's some stupid who is Mayweather dating right now talk in the middle of the interview, which I would skip over. But then they get into then they ask him about his next event, and obviously they're hyping up Maidana in this one, which they have to. They come out saying Maidana's a tough competitor. He always shows up to fight. Um, he's dangerous. Just all the regular bullshit that always goes out there. But then in the end, you're never gonna hear anybody say anything that'll hurt the actual fight. So the fight has been made. They're trying their best to promote it. From the callers calling in, which that happens later on in the video, I don't think it's really working. Um, so, anyways, Leonard Ellerbe, most of his talking, most of the time that he actually speaks is promoting the fight. Other than that, he maintains quiet through the rest of the video. It's kind of insane. Now I know Sway is just doing his job, but he seems like he's overstepping his. Fuck, man, he's kind of he's trying to out. I don't know how to say this, but he's kissing ass. That's what he's doing. Like he's kissing Floyd's ass. Like it's insane. Um, the one thing he does though is he does bring up Keith Thurman. He asks, "When will we see a fight with Keith Thurman and Floyd?" And Leonard goes, "Well, who's that?" And Sway he kind of asked him, "You've never heard of Keith Thurman?" Obviously, Leonard has heard of Keith Thurman, and he goes, "Yeah, he's an up and comer, but everybody's trying to be part of the Floyd sweepstakes, blah 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 blah." All that bullshit. And Sway just eats it up. We go, "Oh, okay, all right." No other question. There was no other anybody that had a logical sense can still continue. Well, he was a WBA #1 contender. Why didn't he get the fight with Broner, which shot Maidana up to the fight with you? Blah 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 blah. He could have, there could have been more talk, more. There could have been more, but he just. That's it. Leonard kind of shut that down real quick. And then what's interesting is they opened up the lines for the callers to call in. And the caller that called in first, actually both of them, um, weren't happy with the fight. One of them said that the fight that Maidana was too small, and he didn't. He thinks that Floyd should just finally fight Pacquiao. Then the next guy that called in too. I think we in this interview you only see two people call in. But what was interesting is the questions that were being asked. Leonard didn't answer any of them. The only one that was talking was Sway. Sway was kissing ass. He was defending Floyd like crazy on a lot of the things that he didn't really know about, and he compared Floyd Mayweather to Jay-Z, like this fucking crazy shit, just saying like, oh well, it's like Jay-Z makes something, and he makes a fucking record, and everybody's complaining, saying why isn't it as good as his last record, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? That bullshit. And then you end up having, because of small criticism, I guess, because I think one of the fans said, I think it's a little bit disrespectful that you don't acknowledge Keith Thurman as an up and comer. And they point that out to Ellerbe, and again, fucking Sway butts in. Ellerbe doesn't really answer a question. Everything was being answered by Sway. It was fucking annoying. It's fucking annoying. Sway in that video pissed me the fuck off. Usually, I'm cool with Sway. I like watching his fucking interviews. Usually, you know what I mean. When it comes down to certain things, but when the ass you're kissing isn't even in the room with you. He's not even in the fucking room with you. He sent his fucking manager. He sent his fucking manager, and you're still kissing his ass. Oh, man. What a punk. What a punk. It doesn't really seem either like Sway is that much of a boxing fan. You know what I mean? Of course, he may know a little bit about Tyson, but who doesn't? And this guy knows about pop culture. Pop culture. So this guy knows what the fuck is going on, mainstream media. So he should know a lot of these fighters, But I don't really think he's a fucking boxing fan. I think that a lot of the things that the callers were bringing up, I think they were justified questions, and he was kind of like brushing them off like they were stupid. Except you had one caller. One caller was just like, you might as well fight Pacquiao because if he keeps ducking and diving and everything, Pacquiao's gonna end up knocking him out. And then like a fucking instant, you have Sway jump on that real quick, and I don't know, whatever. In the end, I know it's a promotion. I know they're trying to promote the thing, but I think they could have given the callers a little bit more of an opportunity to actually get their questions answered by Floyd's manager instead of Swain keep interrupting and trying to play the fucking. He's trying to play Floyd's manager. Like, Sway needed to shut the fuck up and just sit in the. He was a punk. Fucking a chump. Being a cheerleader right there. And anyways, you really don't get too far in the video before you realize that the most you hear Leonard talk is about when he's promoting the fight, and that's it. And talking about Maidana. And that shit's insane because well, even coming from the two callers, they're not really too impressed by Maidana, and I don't think really anybody is. I don't know. I don't think anybody is. I think I know one person at work that is actually excited about that fight. You know what I mean? And I was fucking surprised. But other than that, fuck. Other than this guy that I know at work, I don't think anybody I've come across anybody on YouTube, comment sections, anywhere, the street, anywhere. Nobody is excited about this fight. Nobody's happy about it. So I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think? Go watch the video. Go watch the interview. Let me know what you guys thought. Uh, Leave a comment. Just let me know. What do you guys think about the interview? What do you think about him kind of brushing off Keith Thurman? Obviously, Keith Thurman is an up-and-comer. There could have been a little bit more to defend Keith Thurman, but Sway kind of just, backed off. And I think that if you were gonna bring up Keith Thurman, you might as well bring up Erislandy Lara, right? But whatever. That's what happens. This is Aztec 101 in the ring, and I'm out.